One widely cited 2009 Sports Illustrated report estimated that around 60% of former NBA players experienced serious financial hardship within 5 years of retirement. Not 5%, 60%. The headlines usually tell you why. Too many cars, too many houses, too much spending. That makes for a good story. It just isn't the whole story. Because if spending were the only problem, the solution would be simple. Spend less, yet decade after decade, the same collapse happens to players who knew the warnings, heard the cautionary tales, and still watched their fortunes disappear. After looking at the financial stories of former NBA players, a different pattern starts to appear. Yes, the cars mattered. The houses mattered, but they were often symptoms of something deeper, a mindset built for a career that ends much sooner than most people realize. I'm going to call that mindset sprint psychology. It's not an official financial term, just the easiest way to describe what keeps showing up. NBA players don't go broke simply because they're careless. Some made reckless decisions, others didn't. The bigger question is why the same pattern keeps repeating, because their entire financial world is built for a 5-year sprint, and almost nobody teaches them how to think once the race is over. By the end of this video, you'll understand why earning millions doesn't guarantee wealth, and why the biggest financial trap begins long before the spending starts. An NBA career is a sprint. The average NBA career lasts only around 4 to 5 years. Even many stars are finished by their mid-30s. Contracts are short. Injuries happen without warning. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. So everything around a player rewards one mindset. Get it while you can. Agents negotiate the biggest deal possible. Teammates celebrate big purchases. The culture rewards today, not 30 years from now. When a contract is announced, 4 years, $80 million. That number becomes more than news. It becomes a signal. Your brain starts believing the window is small, so every opportunity has to be taken now. That's sprint psychology. When you're thinking like a sprinter, saving feels like waiting. Planning decades ahead feels almost irrational. Every decision gets filtered through one question. How do I win right now? The problem? That mindset doesn't disappear when the jersey comes off. When an $80 million contract is announced, almost nobody hears the real number. Federal taxes, state taxes, agent commissions, union dues, league fees. Depending on the player's situation, the amount that actually reaches their bank account can be far lower than the headline. Sprint psychology doesn't focus on net income. It focuses on the headline. Life starts expanding to match the biggest number people hear. Not the money that's actually available. The house is bought using the headline. The car is leased using the headline. The lifestyle grows around the headline. And then there's everyone else. Former NBA star Antoine earned more than $100 million during his career. He later said he spent roughly $9 million supporting family and about $8.5 million on an entourage. That's generosity. It's also pressure. When you believe your earning window is temporary, saying yes today feels easier than risking regret tomorrow. Walker later filed for bankruptcy, but here's what stood out to me. He didn't wake up one morning and decide to waste his fortune. He spent years living inside a system that quietly trained him to treat money like a countdown timer. Then the timer reached zero. The paycheck stopped. The mortgage didn't. The car payments didn't. The people depending on him didn't. And a brain trained to sprint had no idea how to slow down. Here's something that surprised me while researching this. The biggest losses didn't always come from shopping. Sometimes they came from trust. Sprint psychology doesn't just make people spend quickly. It can make them decide quickly. When your career feels short, every investment sounds urgent. Every opportunity feels like it might be the last one. That urgency can lead players to trust the wrong advisors. Invest in businesses they don't fully understand, or sign deals based on relationships instead of research. Antoine later said he didn't stay closely involved with many of his investments because he was still focused on playing basketball. The sprint demanded all of his attention. Everything else got delegated, sometimes to the wrong people. Then there's Allen Iverson. Despite earning enormous sums during his career, he also experienced serious financial trouble. But one decision ended up protecting part of his future. A long-term Reebok agreement placed a large payment into a trust that he couldn't access for years. Ironically, one of the smartest financial decisions connected to his wealth involved money he couldn't spend. That's not just self-control. That's architecture. Sometimes protecting yourself means protecting your money from yourself. It's easy to hear stories like these and think, I'd never do that. But this story isn't really about NBA players. It's about temporary income, a bonus that feels permanent, a business that's booming, a promotion that doubles your paycheck, a great year that quietly becomes your new normal. Then something changes, the bonus disappears, the business slows, the industry shifts, the income that built your lifestyle isn't there anymore. The athletes who stayed financially secure weren't always the highest earners. Many simply accepted one uncomfortable truth: high income is temporary. Their systems reflected that. They saved automatically. They protected money before they could spend it. They built lifestyles around what they could sustain, not what the headlines said they earned. Because wealth isn't measured by how much money comes in, it's measured by how long your money keeps working after the income stops. Whether you make $50,000 a year or 50 million, the lesson is the same. Sprint psychology is human. Architecture is a choice.